on, my
some
dear.
of the hits in this one. Here.
Love the college rugby league.
Williams again leading the way. Murray getting involved as well. They come back towards the middle of the park. And oh, guess what? Another big hit. Knock on, so what a hit there. Here.
Love the college rugby league. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the home of Otahuhu Leopards, and it is a big day down here today. There's a lot going on, massive activity. Special welcome to Bruce Shaw, chairman of the Otahuhu Leopards. And Bruce, tell us a little bit about what's happening today, mate.
Well, we've actually got a celebration today of one player, Freddie Turawhanua, nicknamed the Tuhoi Train.
The Tuhoi Train.
Yeah, 200 games for Otahuhu. He's been a stalwart for the club, very honest, straight up Otahuhu boy, and there's also a 50-game celebration where Connor Purcell will be presented a blazer, the club, which is what we normally do after 50 games. And we've got a sponsors night after our senior prize giving later on tonight. We're trying to touch a few sponsors up for a few dollars for next year.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're doing today.
So big love to the sponsors. You know, without sponsors, rugby league would not survive, especially at club level, mate. So tell us who your main sponsors are.
Our main sponsors this year are Roof Care as our major sponsor, Night Plumbers as our secondary sponsor, and there are some other minor sponsors. But we need more money. We need to keep the young team we've got there, and we need to talk to anybody seriously that do want to sponsor Otahuhu Rugby League.
Excellent, mate. Look, I know you've got a lot on today, and we've sort of kidnapped you. There's a big celebration on for the Tuhoi Train today. So congratulations to Freddie on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League. We're going to be crossing shortly to Corey Rosser, who's going to be interviewing the coaches. Want to thank you for your time, mate, and thank you for hosting us down here. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be straight back with the coaches from the First Division teams with Corey Rosser.
On there, John. There we go. A little bit of technical issues to start with. Well, we are now joined by Otahuhu head coach John Ackland. Well, John, over halfway through the season and you're 2 points outside of the top four. Has it exceeded your expectations so far, or are you where you thought this team was capable of being?
You know, I thought we were capable of doing okay. I think we played well last week, and hopefully we can we can build on that today. But today's really about Freddie Turawhanua playing his 200th game in the Fox Memorial. In this day and age, that's it's a massive achievement. And Freddie's been a fixture of the club since he's 5 or 6, and hoping to put on a good display for Fred today.
Yeah, obviously, John, you've been around the Auckland club scene for a long time. Not many players in any era managed to make it to 200 first-class games, I guess. Just talk us through how significant this achievement is, and I guess also what Freddie brings to your side.
Yeah, well, the 200, like you have to bear in mind it doesn't count the Bartercard Cup. So, if they were counting the Bartercard Cup, it'd be pretty close to 300, I'd say. It's a colossal effort. It's 14 or 15 years of first grade football, which, was really done in the old days. But, these days with work commitments and, the way things are going with the outside world, it's you know, it's a tremendous achievement. And I'll tell you something about Freddie. He's a, you know, he's an A-grade bloke too. You know, he's a really good fella. You know, he's actually earned these 200 games this year. You know, he started off in reserves. He didn't do pre-season training. You know, he never mentioned his 200 once to me. And you know, he's in the team on merit, and he played really well for us last week. He made a tackle just before half-time. You know, it meant we went into 12-6, like a vital tackle, and then after half-time he brought out the old sidestep and made a huge bust down the middle, and we're on our way. So, yeah, so big ups to Freddie today.
Vital win last week, John. What did you like most about that win over Howick? What did you like most about what your team put out?
Look, I like the style that we played.
Okay.
You know, we passed the ball. You know, against Papakura, I think I said the same thing to you. We actually, you know, we strung a few passes together and we got the ball to some good players in space. And you know, it was kind of good footy to watch. I think a lot of our footballers, you know, is negative at times. You know, across the comp, I mean. I'm not just saying our team, but no, I thought we passed the ball well, and our spine guys combined well, and yeah, we scored some nice tries.
What gets the job done against Richmond today? They started really well against Point Chevalier last week. What do you have to do well to beat the Bulldogs?
Well, I think we just, you know, it's the same thing every week, really. You just got to keep them down their end. You've got to, you know, ensure that you tackle, you know, their better ball carriers well. They've got a good, you know, got a couple of boys that are very damaging with the ball, and we have to be on our game with them. And we've got to kick the ball well and make them come off their end, and we've got to defend well. And when the time comes to save a try, we have to save a try. And if we do that, we should score enough points to win.
All right, we're going to let John get back to warming his team up now. John, thanks for joining us, and all the best today.
Pleasure, Corey.
Right, we're now joined by Richmond head coach Steve Buckingham for the second week in a row. Well, you made a great start against Point Chevalier last week. Probably had it over them for the first 20-25 minutes.
Yep.
Heavy loss in the end. What's your assessment of it?
Yeah, it was a little bit like the old saying, game of two halves. We competed really well for the first 40. I think we had the better of the territory against Point Chev. 2 mistakes led to 2 Point Chev tries and kept them in the game. So, you know, some tough lessons learned again from last week, and hopefully this week we can play a similar style of footy, but do it for 80.
You take a bit of confidence from footing it with obviously one of the best teams in the comp though, and really you had it over them for a lot of the first half there. So do you take some confidence from that?
Oh, I think the boys can take confidence. I think like they're still learning to trust each other. I think, and sometimes a lot of our boys, you know, they're still learning the game. They seem to try and solve a lot of issues on their own rather as a team. So, you know, we're working on things, and I think, you know, we've got an opportunity for 7 or 8 games left in this round to really improve and try and progress anyway.
Discipline a bit of an issue last week. A lot of penalties conceded. Has that been the major work on this week?
Not necessarily discipline in itself, but I think for us, our major work in the last 4 weeks has been our defence, really. I think we've leaked a ton of points. You know, score lines, you know, I think one week we had 58 against us, last week was 38. Some pretty high score lines against us, so that indicates that, you know, defence is an issue for us. We've done a fair bit of work, and again, you know, it's about our guys trying to solve those issues as a team and not individually. You know, but again, I think our guys, it just needs to be a bit of personal responsibility about what they're doing out there, and you know, we've spoken about those sorts of things. So hopefully today they get it right, and it's a good day for it. Hopefully they get it right, mate, and they perform well.
Now, it looked like for most of this week you're going to have to do the job without Machu Stone Dunn and Siave Tupou, 2 of your better players this year, but you get them back. How big is that for you guys?
Yeah, it's big, but at the same time very frustrating. We've had a real lack of communication from the Warriors and what they're trying to do with those boys, which has been really disappointing. You know, for us, you know, we're just as the Warriors, you know, we've invested a heap of time and money into these guys as well, and we need them playing for us when they're available, when they're not playing. So the key for us is really getting our boys playing when they're available, and we're fortunate enough to have them today. It's affected our preparation though right through the week. We didn't know until this morning, sort of 8 o'clock, that we had 3 guys available from that in that situation. So in terms of preparation, you know, it's affected us quite majorly. So hopefully anyway, we can put that behind us and just play well and put a performance on the field.
You come up against an Otahuhu team today who love to throw the ball around, very dangerous on the edges. What do you need to do well to beat them?
Oh, look, I think around the ruck, I think that's where the game we won today, around that ruck. And, you know, I'd like to see our big guys dominate and push through, just run harder and tackle harder maybe than Otahuhu, and that'll get us off to a good start. You know, but Otahuhu, they're playing for some big milestones for a couple of players today, and no doubt they'll be up for it. So, you know, our guys just need to turn up, match the effort, and, you know, hopefully if we can do that, we'll be in the game.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining us. We're going to let you get back now to finish warming the team up. All the best today.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks, mate.
And now we're going to throw it out to the field and take a look at some of the preparations going on. The two teams warming up as well as mini-mod action going on there. So out to the field now. Cheers, bro.
On the line, boys. On the line. Waiting, boys. Moving up.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, as we heat up for the big match today at 2:30. Otahuhu Leopards up against Richmond Bulldogs. On your screen right now, celebratory, big fantastic day. Let's go with that. All of the young kids for the Otahuhu Leopards are down here today. Corey Ross is going to be coming in very shortly to join us in the commentary booth and give us the build-up for today. However, the action that you're seeing here are the future premiers of the Otahuhu Leopards, and this boy's got to run away, and he's just been tackled. Great defense. So a lot of activity down here for the Tūhoe train. Big Freddie's 200, and we'll be seeing him being brought on by the club as we welcome in Corey now. And Corey, what a day for rugby league.
Yeah, beautiful day for it. Field in very good nick down here at Bert Henham Park despite some recent rain. Very much conditions conducive to attractive football, which will very much, I think, favour this Otahuhu team today. They love to spread the ball around. They're a real second phase team, and they are lethal on the edges. So it's going to be a good game. Of course, it's all on the line for Otahuhu, not only celebrating that big milestone of Freddie Tutawhenua's, but also they're only one win outside of the top 4. So if other results go their way, a win today potentially puts Otahuhu into the top 4. So it's a big day, as we see. Not on screen now, but right in front of the commentary booth. The kids having a great time here, enjoying their time on the number 1 field as we build towards kickoff in the main game today. A little look at some of the things going on around the grounds today in the Auckland competition, starting with the Sharman Cup. Northern Brothers host Otara in the first game of the Sharman Cup. Papatoetoe take on Pakuranga. Newlyn versus Bay Roskill. This will be a good one. A West Auckland derby. Newlyn with a last-minute victory over Te Atatu last week to get the job done. And, of course, Bay Roskill undefeated so far. A perfect 9 from 9. Manukau and Ellerslie clash. Ellerslie Eagles looking to hold on to that top 4 position. Franklin, the second-place team so far. still yet to be defeated this year. They take on Te Atatū. Hibiscus Coast are at home to Mount Wellington, and Ponsonby at home to Waitemata. And looking at the results in the second division last week, it was the Bay Roskill Vikings, a default victory for them over the Hibiscus Coast. Ellerslie Eagles 28-22 winners over Northern Brothers. A big second half from the Eagles, getting them home in that one with an intercept try. The difference in the end. New Lynn winners on the buzzer. So a conversion from Nathan on the sideline to win that one, 20 points to 18 over the Te Atatū Roosters. Mount Wellington 36-20 over Papatoetoe. Papatoetoe still without a victory this year. The Manurewa Marlins convincing 36-16 winners over the Pakuranga Jaguars. And Ponsonby, well, they had to come from behind, but 36-24 over Manukau. While the Franklin Storm, they grind one out, 18-10 over Waitemata Otara, having the bye last week. So let's take a look at the Sharman Cup ladder and what that has done for the standings. And at the top, as I mentioned, it is the Bay Roskill Vikings, a perfect 9 from 9, sitting on 18 points. Nestled in just behind the Franklin Storm. They've been there for most of the year, doing really well, the newly formed club. Ponsonby Ponies and Ellerslie Eagles sitting on 14 points, just in behind there. Just outside of the top 4 right now, the Otara Scorpions, Manurewa Marlins on 12 points. They're followed by the Te Atatū Roosters and the Newland Stags, and then Waitemata. So a three-way log jam there of West Auckland clubs on the edge of the top 8. And that next group back, Pakuranga, Northern Brothers, Mount Wellington, Manukau and Hibiscus Coast. And then at the bottom, still yet to pick up their first victory, the Papatoetoe Panthers. A tough old year for the South Auckland club. They go at it again today, looking to pick up a victory. So that's the way things look in the second division. We'll now run you through the other games that are going on today in Auckland in the first division. The SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, Mount Albert and Marist meet in the Central Auckland clash. That'll be a good one. Although Marist are at the bottom of the ladder, they have put in some really good performances this year, been narrow losers on a number of occasions. They're just about breaking a record for 2 and 4 point losses this year. Glenora and Northcote, one of the games of the year. Root Rooster on the line. Glenora to play Northcote. Glenora going into that one on a 10-game winning streak. Northcote on a 6-game winning streak. That'll be a wonderful game. Initially scheduled to be our curtain raiser here today, but moved back to Harold Moody at Glenora's request. Point Chevalier take on Papakura, a rematch of the 2016 Fox Memorial Final. While Mangere East, they are at home to the Howick Hornets. A little look at some of the results going on last week, as we see on screen there. The banner in honour of Freddie Torofena, and how good is that? 200 games. There's also on the right there, 50 games for Connor Totoro Purcell. Unfortunately, he won't get to celebrate that milestone today. A hamstring injury preventing him from taking the field today. But wonderful effort from the club to celebrate, I guess, a legend that's been around for a long time, and Connor Totoro Purcell, who really is the next generation of leader here at this club. Little look at some of the results from last week in the Fox. Northcote, a big victory for them, 26-10 over Mount Albert. That pretty well solidifies their spot in the top 4. They're now two wins clear in the top 4. Otahuhu, they were 34-12 winners over Howick. Massive win for them. It edges them just a little bit closer to a top 4 berth. Who would have thought at this point of the year that this Otahuhu Leopards team would be contending for a top 4 position, doing wonderful things under coach John Ackland. Point Chevalier, comfortable 38-10 winners over Richmond after a bit of a slow start, which had Richmond ahead in the first 20 minutes. While Mangere East, they rallied late to beat Marist 36-26. Try on the buzzer, blowing that scoreline out. Glenora 24-16 winners over Papakura. So what does it look like for the table? Let's now take a look at the Fox Memorial ladder. And it is the Glenora Bears and Point Chevalier Pirates, well, the first and second place teams from last year, setting the pace once again. They sit at the top on 20 points. Glenora with the superior points differential. Nestled in just behind the Northcote Tigers, who have come right after a bit of a slow start. The Howick Hornets and Otahuhu Leopards really contending for that 4th position right now, along with the Mount Albert Lions. So there's 2 points separating that. We're set for a real thrilling finish to the year in terms of who was able to nick that 3rd and 4th position. You would think at this point Glenora and Point Chevalier probably pretty safe in terms of going through in that top 4. And then the back end, Mangere East Hawks, who have put together some good performances this year. They sit mid-table. Papakura Sea Eagles and Richmond Bulldogs with the 2 wins to the name. And at the bottom, the Marist Saints still looking for that first victory this year. Will it come this week against Mount Albert? Now I'm going to welcome back into the commentary booth Troy Hardy. Well, Troy, here he is on screen.
There's the
number
big guy.
14, the Tuhoi train, Freddie Torofenua. We caught up with him pre-match, Troy, and one thing that stands out with Freddie, incredibly humble about his achievements, and everything's about the club, isn't it?
Absolutely. As John Ackland said, like to echo that, A-grade guy. He's always been really approachable. I know coming back into rugby league after being a long time away from myself, especially, you know, when we started getting into the live streaming and digital videos and what have you, he was always one of the first guys that was a pleasure to be able to interview and spend time with. Top bloke, man. Awesome. Real big day. Proud to be here with him. Just fantastic.
Yeah, and I did have the pleasure of speaking to Freddie at the end of, I think it was the, must have been the 2016 season when Otahuhu came down, and, you know, to see, I guess, how personally Freddie took that, and, you know, it really hurt him at the time. So it's wonderful that he's able to be back and celebrate the 200 games in the First Division. And look, he's also playing some really good footy this year. Another one that Coach John Ackland sort of highlighted in the build-up. He's playing really good footy in this forward pack, and their forward pack is a real strength of theirs, this Otahuhu team. It's a fairly young pack other than Freddie Torofenua, so he had some real experience there, and I guess brings the average age of the pack up a little. He won't mind me saying that. As we see on screen now, they're going through some warm-ups. And this team, well, they have gone from strength to strength this year in the win against Howick last week. A huge result for them. I guess proof that they can contend with the very best teams in this competition. So this Otahuhu team coming fairly well, full strength today. Connor Todor Purcell, who you're seeing on screen in plain clothes, the most notable absentee. But other than that, it's the same team that they've had take the field for the majority of the year. And the key men are there. Geronimo Doyle at the back, Tom Vafusawanga at dummy half. There they are on screen on cue, having a quick chat. But also up in the engine room, the big boys are all on deck. Richie Halani, Sione Tongia, who shifts into the front row, and Tana Quea, who is playing wonderful footy this year. And this Richmond team, well, we saw them in action last week up against Point Chevalier. Really took it to them in the first 20 minutes, didn't they, Troy? Were able to lead for a lot of that opening first 20 minutes. Fell away in the end, but they'll take a fair bit of confidence out of that.
Yeah, it was, I suppose, a tough day in the office. You know, there was a wee bit too much firepower at the end of that match. And, you know, Point Chevalier, you know, do what they do. And, you know, sort of ground it out and, you know, hung in there and basically got rewarded at the end of the 80 minutes.
So about 5 minutes till kick-off now. It is a very young Otahuhu team who will take the field today, but they had a couple of boys earn honours in the recent representative weekend. Geronimo Doyle was named in the wider Auckland squad. Couldn't make it in the end due to a holiday that he'd booked well in advance for the bye week, but also a number of boys who took the field for the Tonga New Zealand residents as well. See on screen there as well in the high-vis shirt, George Carmont, former Newcastle Knight Wigan Warrior. Vastly experienced player, came back and played a little bit of footy with the New Zealand Warriors before injuries sort of ended it there. So a handy guy to have on staff along with John Ackland. Jack Prendergrass there on screen as well. So they've got some experienced heads to guide around what is one of the real young and exciting teams in this competition. They play a different style of footy probably to most teams, Troy. Very open style. They're prepared to chance their arm early in tackle counts and shift that ball as well. Yeah,
I think we can set that down to Ackers. John Ackland, the head coach. He loves his footy. He's, you know, a historian of the game. And when you look at the style of play, you know, it's got John's fingerprints all over it. They love to move it from edge to edge. They're always pretty quick around the play the ball area. And they're not one of the biggest sides in the competition, but they certainly have pace and they certainly have fitness. I know that he would have introduced them to the big hill down here during pre-season, and those boys would have, you know, fallen in love with that hill. As the guys now, just as we break away from the chat, Corey, really important that we sort of acknowledge what's going on here now. We're seeing all of the Otahuhu boys, you know, that have just been playing at the halftime. Here come the young ones, the under-6s, the mini-mods. And what basically is happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is they're lining up a guard of honour. And that's to bring on Freddie, to acknowledge his 200 games, and to also acknowledge Connor with his 50. But how cool is this, Corey?
Yeah, beautiful scenes on screen. The whole of club attitude, which we have come to know and love of this Otahuhu club. Of course, such a rich history here. We all know about the Kiwi captains they've brought through, and I would think probably responsible for more NRL talent than any other Auckland club at this current point and time. You can see there the kids on screen.
Some of the bigger kids as well, you know, and it won't be long, you know, as we see some of the reserves lining up. So much respect in regards to what's actually unfolding here today, and it's just really, you know, awesome to be part of it. And big ups to the Otahuhu club, and you know, all the volunteers and the personnel, and right through to their senior committee. Just awesome day.
Shout out to our refs today who will take the field. Simon Taylor in the middle of the park, Corey Jewell on one sideline, and Maxine Godney on the other. Big thank you to the Auckland Rugby League Referees Association, ARLrefs.co.nz if you're interested in getting involved.
Big shout out to Cuzzy too, Maxine. No, tell Bugs I love him.
So the whistle now goes, wanting everyone to get ready. We'll now bring up the team lists and run you through this as the scenes go on behind us here. And starting with the home team. At the back, Geronimo Doyle. The wingers are Setutu and Emiliano Mikiali. In the centres, Ethan Nukanuka and Rahiri Witihira. In the halves, Kehua Rahiri and Tane Paki, as we see Freddie Totowhenua now on screen, ready to make his way out. Richie Halani and Sione Tongia in the front row. Tom Vafusuanga, Tana Quea, Sione Tuipulotu and Benjamin Wharton Benedict. As we see the boys come out now, led by the Tuhoi train. And what a moment.
Just see if we can drop the screen for a minute, please. Awesome, because here comes Big Freddie now as the Prems line up. This is just a fantastic day, mate. We need to capture this. How cool's this? He's got the family. Everyone's here today for this boy.
And followed closely by Connor Todor Purcell, who won't take the field today, but in the jersey recognition. So there we go, 200 games and 50 games. What an achievement. A shout out to the club. A wonderful tribute as we see Freddie. A few high fives to the kids as well. We'll now quickly run you through those team lists and get that out of the way before we kick off here. And just looking at the bench, it's the only part we didn't get through earlier. Freddie Totowhenua, Jonah Soifele, Sean Motumuave, and Nofasa Moliotoa. And for the away team, the visitors, Machu Stone down at the back, Lani Pongi and Robert Melisea. Carlos Henry, Siave Tupo are the centres, in the halves, Neil and Kauhifa. Up front in the engine room, Prios and Latoa. Sturgis is the hooker in the back row, Pio, Solomona, and Motion is the lock, usually a 5'8", switches to the middle of the park today. And on the bench, Isaac Akoyatmo, Nathaniel Law, Kamana Po, and Tongiu. That is how the teams will take the field today. A few changes on the screen, particularly for that Richmond team, a number of changes. In fact, as referee Taylor goes through the final chat with Vafusuanga, it looks like he will be the captain for today. For the Otahuhu team, they've got a number of boys who, I guess, rotate in this leadership group. Geronimo Doyle at times, Connor Todor Purcell when he's fit, Tana Quea.
And Richmond's way off to the left of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, as we see the official ball of the ARL, the Steeden match ball. A big thank you to Steeden, also the major sponsor of the Fox, SAS Sporting Apparel, as we get ready. And you've heard the two chirps from the referee, chirp chirp. And that's to get everybody along. And Richmond's walking in from over on field 2, and they would have seen the big celebrational start to this match. And I dare say, outside of going up against a fairly strong Otahuhu side, there's going to be a lot of emotion here today, especially for the Tuhoi train.
Yeah, and Steve Buckingham acknowledged as much in the build-up, you know, what this would mean to the Otahuhu team. So it's another factor. You see the Richmond boys coming out now. They'll be captained today by Stuart Prios in the front row. Leon Latour back. He missed last week's game. Back in action today as they go through the toss on halfway.
Fantastic day down here at Bird Henman. If you are in the area, please come and join us. The cafeteria is open, so is the upstairs green tea bar. So if you're wanting a cool liquid refreshment, come down and enjoy the next 80-odd minutes of fantastic grassroots rugby league brought to you by the ARL with our live stream partners Ctas, beaming out around the world.
You're probably not picking it up on the audio on screen, but the kids in behind the Otahuhu team right now, they've got a little chant going. They've had it going for the last 5 minutes or so. It's brilliant stuff. as the bench make their way off to the sideline, the kids make their way to the left, and we are just about ready for kickoff here in round 12 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Simon Taylor, the man with the whistle in the middle of the park today. It's going to be Otahuhu to get things underway. They come into this one with 3 wins in the last month. The Otahuhu Leopards team, they've climbed to 5th position on the ladder. Here we go, and it is Geronimo Doyle who gets things underway. Conversely, this Richmond team, well, they've struggled of late. Did pick up a victory against Marist along the way, but some heavy defeats in the last couple of weeks. I want to put an end to that today. Defense, the name of the game for them, as we see a very slow first play. Richie Halani involved in that one. Huge crowd down here, as you can see in the background there. The car park is at capacity. Another of the banners up there. There's a big one on the hill as well, which has just come down. So everyone's involved today as Richmond get to the end of their set, and it is Kauhifa who hoofs it downfield, collected by Doyle on the full. And Doyle now plays off, and here we go, Setu2 straight away, bursting down the sideline. Setu2, Neil is coming across and cover. Neil, brilliant tackle, takes him down now. They're 40 metres out from the line. What a start from the home side. Nuka now at dummy half. Comes back to the middle, and it's the other winger, Mikaeli. So they've shown their hand early there, Troy. A quick spread, and Setu2 goes about 30 metres untouched. Brilliant stuff early on here from the Leopards.
Yeah, he's dangerous.
Vafusuanga jumps out of dummy half, and now Paki, was he caught high? Play on is the call. Back for a penalty eventually. So brilliant start here for the Leopards, and Richmond need to compose themselves quickly here. Doyle puts that one to touch, and Paki's just getting checked out there. Was caught up high, but play on. He's going to remain on the field. Tuipulotu. Watch for the big man. Here's one of them. Sione Tongia! Straight through, and Otahuhu opened the scoring with a powerful carry. Sione Tongia, it was too easy in the end. Let's take a look. On the replay, they get the penalty. And after this initial tackle from Tuipulotu, boy, this is poor defence from Richmond.
Yeah, and I think Steve Bucky talked about that at the opening with you, Corey. That was something that they were wanting to work on, and not the best way to start the first 2 minutes of a match.
I don't think that's what he had in mind. And you see here just a little bit of footwork. Yeah. But boy, some of the first up contact there leaves a lot to be desired. And Sione Tongia will open the scoring under the posts.
You know, off that completed set from Richmond, you know, Otahuhu caught it. Big bust down the, what would we say, in front of us in the commentary stand there by the young winger. Set them up perfectly over there on the left-hand side, and, you know, score a try. Otahuhu, that's the way John would want to start it.
Absolutely.
Don't think that was what Steve had on his mind.
Geronimo Doyle now lines up the conversion. So impressive this year, Geronimo Doyle. Flags go up, and the Leopards sit on a 6-0 lead. They score on their first use of the ball. And Richmond now, plenty to think about with the game only 3.5 minutes old. I mentioned their disrupted preparations, I guess. They weren't sure if they were going to have Machu Stone Dunn or Siave Tupo, also Kakoi Tongiu, who were called up to Warriors duty during the week and only released this morning. So Coach Steve Buckingham very clear on how that disrupted preparations. There are 3 players that are wonderful to have back. Machu Stone Dunn, he was our man of the match a couple of weeks ago in the live stream game. And Siave Tupo, well, he is an excitement machine. Can create something out of nothing, as we see Tongia. His first carry after that try, he's taken the ground a little bit Slow getting to the feet there as they head out towards this left edge, and there's another spread on here. Ball pops out the back. Was it touched by Richmond? Needs to be careful here, right up against the sideline. Taken down by Sturgis. Doyle. Long kick off the boot of Doyle. Down towards the wing of Pongi, who picks it up, but the kick chase is brilliant from Otahuhu. And they pin him inside the 30. Fafuswanga leading the way with the line speed. They break the first one here. This is Siave Tupou.
Great run.
We just highlighted him. He is the most dynamic attacking option they've got, Richmond. Now they head down this left edge. Solomona tackled just over halfway now. Sturgis to Neil. Neil to Kalhiva, his halves partner today, Leon Latour. Straightens things up, takes it forward, but it's good contact from Otahuhu. Kalhiva shuffles it on now. Stone Dunn chimes in at the back. Features fairly often at ISP level for the Vodafone Warriors. As Kalhiva now looks to the sky, a tester at the back for Setutu, who lets it bounce. Still bouncing, touches it, foot was out. That'll be a Richmond ball. So a sloppy error there. Just let the ball bounce the first time there, Troy, and then from that point on, it was out of his control. Probably could have let it go over the sideline in hindsight, but Richmond to pack down this scrum. So a good opportunity for them to hit back after a disastrous start.
Early stages, Otahuhu really taking it to them on the ground. If you have a look at the wrestle, you know, they're putting the Richmond boys on their back and they're really trying to slow them down. So it'll be interesting to see how much energy they keep up throughout the course of the match.
Kyle Neal to feed the scrum. And Kalhiva running straight off it now. Kalhiva plays short to Machu Stone Dunn. Just short of the line now. So Richmond looking to hit back. Sturgis shuffles, play on, knock on is the call. Yes, it is, and they've blown it. So that is disappointing because it looked likely for a little bit there. Richmond, some positive play. I thought Kalhiva might go all the way off the scrum, and then when he handed off to Machu Stone Dunn, he got right up to the line. So the first handling error of the match for Richmond.
Correct.
Scrum to pack down. Pucky with the feed.
Oh.
It's Witty Header with the first carry. Now they come out to this left edge. Good carry forward here. By Richie Holani. He's the nephew of the 200 game man, Freddie Turowhenua. Tongia, another good carry forward, up and over. Motion does well to hold on down low. But some bruising stuff in the middle so far from the Leopards. Now they're going to give the ball a bit of air. Pucky. Now they shuffle, play on. Here's the little break now down the right-hand side by Koya. Koya still going. Tana Koya looks inside, finds Pucky. Ball's loose. Was that knocked on? Richmond have scooped it up. Should be a zero tackle here. So the Leopards again looking to promote that second phase, looking to spread the ball. It's an exciting brand of football they play. Jump out of dummy half now through Malisea. And another mistake. So 2 sets, 2 errors for Richmond. Back-to-back mistakes. And this is going to put all sorts of pressure on them because they're 40 metres off their own line here. The Leopards now to get an entire set down this end of the field. Coming into this game, Otahuhu, they averaged 21.6 points per game.
Who checked that math, Corey?
And on the defensive side, 18.7 against. Great 34-12 victory over Howard last week. That will have given them a real confidence boost. Doyle now chimes in. Very close to the sideline. Tackle is complete. Doyle will play the ball. Ctas clears the ruck now with a little jinking run. Kyle Neal, the first to meet him, eventually taking the ground. Solomona on top. Bucky to Wharton Benedict. And the ball has come loose. So Richmond survived that one after the error inside their 40. We're going to have time off here.
All good. After the scrum, guys, after the scrum. Run back on. Let's scrum, Richmond ball.
Pretty fast start to this one, Troy. A couple of errors from both teams now, but the boys look like they're feeling it out there. It's actually quite warm in the middle of the park, despite some of the rather icy conditions we've been having across Auckland so far this week, as we see Richmond now with a little bit of second phase, and they break down the left edge. Pongi taking the ground. Sturgis looking for a quick play of the ball. Heads back to the middle of the park. Bumping carry forward by Carlos Henry, former Carlton Boys High School student. Sturgis now to Latoa. Holding on down low was Vafusuanga. Sturgis now jumps out, looking down the left edge, takes the tackle. Pucky involved down low. Solomona to motion with a little step and a run. Koya claims him. Last tackle coming up. They swing it out the back. Neal looks high. Tester at the back for Mikaeli. Mikaeli goes up. Beautiful take. Great take from Emiliano Mikaeli. And now the Leopards get back to work. Sturgis. They drive him back 5 or 6 meters that time. Nuka now jumps out of dummy half, looking for cheap yardage, but that's not where you're going to find it. Prius wrestles him to ground. Sione Tongia, what a start to the game he's had. A try, plenty of run meters already. Doyle, now they shifted, and now Ctas, he's into open space once again. Pongi does enough to take him down right on halfway. Last tackle coming up. Doyle darts out of dummy half, kicks, and now his chase is good as well. Stone Dunn back to collect. And it will be his opposite number who takes him down in a beautiful low tackle. Bit of a lost art these days in rugby league, isn't it, Troy, the low tackle? But textbook stuff there from Geronimo Doyle.
A few of the Richmond boys still getting back on the onside. Pretty much all there now.
40 off their line now. Richmond making good yardage this set. That time Carlos Henry's had a couple of good carries. Kyle Neal, they go high again. It's a long one. It won't be contested, so it's a free one at the back for Otahuhu. It bounces anyway. Mikaeli picks it up. Sees a whole lot of maroon and blue in front of him. The Richmond have done well to get themselves back into a bit of an arm wrestle here after a horror start.
Up now, 18.
No dummy half that time, and rushed into the rescue was Tui Polotu. Miss
One of
out.
John Eklund's great ploys, the old fake it dummy half.
Wharton Benedict right on halfway now. Vafusuanga pushes Doyle out of the way. Now they got the back. Paki to Koya. Koya to Nuka to Ctas. Two now into a bit of space. Two defenders on him. Last tackle coming up. Paki set to the left. That's where it goes. It's a high one. He scuffed it off the boot though. Melisea just about come up with the knock on there. Knocked back is the call from referee Taylor. Richmond, I dare say, giving up a few kgs in the middle of the park, you would think, Troy. This Otahuhu team, particularly the starting bookends, they're big boys.
Yeah, they are. They're saying that when Richmond lined up at half-time, they look like they'd added a wee bit of size to the pack from last week. They've obviously got a few of the big boys back. And what's he saying there?
Yeah, late flop is the call, so penalty to Richmond. This will help. Of course, getting Leon Latour back, a big one. One of their on-field leaders, Richmond boy through and through.
That's the first penalty of today. A lot of banners up now over there on the far side for Big Freddie.
Keep coming, keep coming. Hold. Hold. Good. Release now, good. All the way. Hold. Good one.
Prius has short at the line and he's crunched. Good defence from the Leopards.
Hold. Good too.
Sturgis jumps out to Neil now. Neil plays short to Solomona.
Release now, release.
Koya and Paki involved in the tackle now. Sturgis jumps out, puts a little kick in behind, but it's read beautifully. Either that or it was a rather fortuitous take by Wharton Benedict. Fafusawanga now jumps out and spots it. The line is a little staggered. Makes 10 metres. Good run there from Tommy V out of the bottom of the ruck. Paki shifts off to Holani. Holani, another good carry forward. Tackle still up their sleeve here. Paki goes to the line, brings Koya back in. Koya thought about the offload. Last tackle coming up now. Doyle and Paki set to the right. It's going to go to Doyle. Doyle will go high. Chase is good from Setu who get up for this. Two knocks it back, and now it's play on. Doyle now looking for an offload. Gets the ball out the back to Nuka Nuka. Hot potato stuff from the Leopards, who shifted on now in the middle of the park. Wharton Benedict's picked it up. Benjamin Wharton Benedict. A heck of a try. And Otahuhu are in for their second, but boy, there was some stuff going on in that one. Let's take a look on the SAS Sports replay. And it starts with an excellent bat back from Setu, and then here Doyle does some really good work here. Does well to actually get the offload away. Flicks it out the back to Nuka Nuka, who then throws the big lofted pass here. It could have gone to anyone, and Wharton Benedict picks it up. Everyone's committed. The big fella, he has a little bit of work to do still. Puts on a lovely fend here. Says, get out of my way, son. I'm going over under the sticks. Great work from the Leopards.
Fantastic set for the Otahuhu Leopards, and off the back of a great kick, managed to, pull it back in. They tapped it back. How good was that jump? That could have been an AFL mark. And he nabbed that and then finished off with a fantastic big fend going in underneath the SAS bolsters. Couldn't have made it any easier for the kick. And having a look at the shaping up here, piece of cake this one, Corey. No problem here whatsoever.
Doyle flags are up, and Otahuhu double the lead just on Setu, 19 years of age, represented Toa Samoa under 20 residents last year. He's in the squad again this year. Fast becoming one of the best wingers in the competition, it must be said. Obviously his height a major advantage. He's got a great jump on him, as you alluded to earlier, Troy.
And he's got a fair bit of toe. He can certainly put the hammer down when he needs to. Dangerous every time the ball comes in his direction.
Leon Latour coming off for his first breather, and two lots of fresh legs on the park in the shape of Tuki Kamanapo and Kakoi Tongiu for the Richmond Bulldogs. So Steve Buckingham heads for the bench on 18 minutes as Carl Heifer gets us back underway.
Oh,
and a devil of a bounce for Paki. It's a clean miss. Luckily, Setu there to clean it up. Wharton Benedict, the try scorer. Look at this Otahuhu team going right to left, Really looking to run this Richmond pack around. Into the play, the ball now through Toi Piloto. Now Tongia goes to the line. Big Sione Tongia. Right on halfway. He's taken down. Last tackle coming up. Doyle shifts on. High one. It's not going to be contested. Machu Stone Dunn makes easy work of it. A little bit of footwork there as well. Boy, he's a class actor, Stone Dunn. Really good fullback. Another one who represented Auckland, or was in the squad to represent Auckland, I should say. And the penalty as well. Little second effort that time from Rahiri.
Yeah, all the penalties so far gone Richmond's way, so that'll be something that John may have a word to them about at half-time of the Otahuhu team. You know, and a couple of them are pretty cheap. Cheap penalties, shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, you're right, and that one there in particular. Probably unnecessary to give away. I'm just going to put them under a little bit of pressure here. It's been a great start for the Leopards. I want to continue it here. Pumping carry forward as Richmond get back underway. 20 metres out from the line. Got to complete the set, the Bulldogs. Got to start building some positive habits on the ball. Neil thinks about shifting play on instead, steps back inside. Seen him in action for Te Aratu last year under Dad Revel Neil as coach. Stone Dunn now goes to the line, plays back inside. That's a nice play from Machu Stone Dunn. And it will finish with Kamanapo scoring, but put it down to the work of Machu Stone Dunn. Let's take a look on the replay.
They needed that.
You can see here Stone Dunn, and just passes very short.
Yeah,
They're almost touching each other.
It, was he?
But he does well, Kamanapo. Powers his way over. Represented Auckland Māori in the Upright Access Man Cup last month, or earlier this month I should say. We're still in June. So a crucial one there for Richmond. They'll have the chance to halve the lead that Otahuhu have built when Tongiu attempts the conversion from in front of the posts.
Fantastic day down here today, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is out. Not only is there big support here on the sidelines, looks like the corporate box over there at the Otahuhu clubhouse is chocker as well. And that slices the sticks. We had 2 points on. I'll talk to my scoreboard man. Thank you. Takes us out to 12 points to Otahuhu Leopards, 6 points Richmond Bulldogs. Otahuhu back now, ready to kick off. Don't forget we live stream the College Rugby League matches every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Get to them through aucklandleague.co.nz.
Richmond now put themselves right back in this one. Need a couple of good sets now. Need to complete some sets. Errors and a couple of penalties. Not helping their cause so far. Now they're going to shift play on. They're going to do a Otahuhu on Otahuhu. And now they go out to this right edge now where Melisara is into open space. Hasn't he got some wheels? Doyle comes across. Eventually taken down. They jump out of dummy half now. They're 20 metres out from the line here, Richmond.
It's all out here on the left too if they can get it here.
What a play from the Bulldogs. Sturgis to Neil. Neil shifts it on. Machu Stone Dunn. Stone Dunn steps, but he's tackled well by Richie Holani. That is a brilliant tackle from Holani. And a try saver as well. Sturgis will centralise. Neil steps back inside now. Kyle Neil looking for the offload. Holani comes across and whacks him right in front of the post now. Last tackle coming up. The Bulldogs looking to tie things up. Sturgis burrows over, but knock on is the call. So hand over there, but what about that? Richmond go 100 metres. End up at the other end of the field. Brilliant stuff from the Bulldogs. They need to keep doing more of that. Doesn't look like the Leopards were necessarily...
Oh, here comes the Tuhoi train.
Nuka jumps out of dummy half, chews up a few extra metres. And to the left of your screen as play goes on. Bump forward now via Motumoave. Penalty there and late in the set as well. That's a killer for Richmond. So Otahuhu to go back to back, and just in the corner of the screen coming onto the field now for the 200th time. Freddie Torofenawa runs onto the field for a First Division match. And I dare say his first hit up will get an almighty cheer from the crowd here. And here it comes, the Tuhoi train. Straight into it, and what a carry it is. Great start there for Big Freddie. Looking for a quick play of the ball, the arm locked in there as well. Tuipulotu now bumps it forward. Vafusuanga shifts play on now. Soifeli thinks about passing instead. Hits it up, the ball spills loose. Prios picks it up. So a little bit messy there from the Leopards. They come down this right edge again. It's been their favoured edge so far, the Bulldogs. Solomona takes Richmond up to halfway. Neil shifts on to Stone Dunn. Machu Stone Dunn looks threatening every time he carries it. Well, he's picked up a bit of a knock that time, grabbed straight for the head. He's okay, gets up and plays the ball now. Siave Tupou, look out! Siave Tupou puts on a bit of footwork, flicks the ball back inside. It was intended for Neil. Instead is picked up by the Leopards, who now go on the counter at the other end. So exciting stuff down here at Bert Hennon Park today. Round 12 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. The Leopards potentially playing for a spot in the top 4. Richmond looking to pick up their 3rd win of the year. Good carry forward that time by Witi Hera. Now Mikaeli getting involved as well. The outside backs getting through plenty of work for the Leopards. Paki throws a big cut out now to Setutu. Now 2 loops the ball back over the top. A little basketball inspired pass there. Now Nuka's into open space. Ethan Nuka, one to beat, and he's going to go in here. Nuka. There it is, the 3rd try for the Leopards. He probably went the hard way about it in the end. Ended up having to beat a defender on the line. Let's take a look at the replay and see how it unfolded.
Fantastic replay too. If we pick up the winger, yeah, have a look at this. Fake, then over the top. And he actually called for that ball early, Corey, way back here before the centre had picked up. He had his hand up, and basically that cutout pass set most of this up, and then what a fantastic run to the line.
Nuka here, well, you think he
went the long way
just
too,
about
didn't he?
scored the try.
I want to go close. Oh, hang on, there's one. No, I'll come back and I'll go close again. Yeah, I'll go in here.
And that's confidence when you deliberately run into someone on the try line. But Nuka, he knew he had certainly the size advantage on Machu Stone Dunn, who to his credit did really well to get back. Actually ended up having 2 swipes at Nuka on the way to the try line there. So Doyle to make his 3rd conversion of the day if it is successful.
You know, both sides are pretty even on completing their sets. However, I think it'd be fair to say Otahuhu has been completing them virtually in 100-metre strips, you know, going full length to the field.
Isaac Akoyatmore getting ready to take his boarding pass as the kick goes over. So does the Leopards, who lead 18 points to 6. A shout out to the respective team sponsors. Today, Roof Care for the Otahuhu Leopards, and for the Richmond Bulldogs, a number of sponsors: LJ Hooker, Ponsonby, Mickey B Fitness, Greyland Tavern, and of course Waterview Laundromat, our dear friend Devesh, Waterview Laundromat. So the Bulldogs got a bit of work to do here. And when they're completing sets, they actually look pretty good. That time it was a sloppy penalty late in the tackle count, which really gave Otahuhu the chance to clock those points, and then some individual brilliance from Setu too, also Ethan Nuka. 10 minutes to go in the first half here at Bert Henham. Another penalty. That time it was Solomona who's pinged, I think. Geronimo Doyle.
Not a bad kick.
Puts it into touch. It's only his 4th season in the league, Geronimo Doyle. Construction economics student. Had his first year with Otahuhu last year, one of their real standouts. He's a current counties player. Prior to that, he was with the Ellerslie Eagles. Good carry forward there by Jonah Soifeli, who's a handy guy to have come off the bench. Fresh legs on as well in the shape of Mulutoa and Wharton Benedict. Well, he's come up with a couple of errors today, outside of scoring a brilliant try. So the scrum to pack down now. Richmond survived that one.
Isaac Akoi on. You'll see the ruck speed up from the dummy half.
Lively customer out of dummy half is Akoi Atmore, come through the Mount Albert grammar system. Matthew Stone done, turns it back inside, but another error. It breaks down for Richmond, and now Soifeli picks it up. And already they're inside the opposition half here at Otahuhu. So they're putting all sorts of pressure on themselves at Richmond. As we enter the final 8 minutes or so of the first half here at Bert Henham. They go down the left edge now. Witty header puts on the afterburners. Holding on for dear life is Melisea. Mikaeli now jumps out. Mikaeli still going. Emiliano Mikaeli, what a carry! All the way to the try line. And Mikaeli adds a 4th for the Leopards.
Beautiful try. You can see here, break the line. Nice offload, gets the ball up. Well, had me fooled then. Comes off to play the ball. There we go. Had everyone fall. Great footwork at the line. Stepped to him. And they just didn't get a hand to him, let alone get the words out to say what he was trying to do.
And really, there was not a lot on when that all started, Troy, but just keeps running his way through. Again, first up contact, a real concern for Richmond. Just not to scratch that time as Doyle now will attempt to make it 24. And outside of a few sloppy errors, probably trying to force second phase, it has been a fairly slick first half from this Otahuhu team, who looked the goods.
Yeah, I think it's sort of, back to the play the ball. The first one just before it, the centre had them second guessing at that point, and everyone sort of held off. It broke up the defence line. By the time he got up to play the ball, people are at 6s and 7s, and the winger just sort of, showed some fantastic footwork and split them. Next thing you know, this young fella's converting a goal. 22-6. Kick to come.
Flags are up. So the Leopards well and truly in control here. Stretch the lead out to 18. Looks like another change going on here. Prios off the field for Richmond. Back to it they go. A little slip there from Tane Paki and then hands it off to Tora Whenua. Now a little left side shift that it's on. Mikaeli reaches behind, ball comes loose. So it'll be a Richmond ball at the end of all that. Starting to share the ball evenly between both sides now. They heavily favoured the right edge early on, did the Leopards, but now Witihira and Mikaeli starting to see a fair bit more ball. Siave Tupou takes it forward, brings in 3 defenders as well. Solomona. It's good first up contact from the Leopards defence. Akoi Atmore to Neil. Neil plays short at the line, had Stone Dunn hovering out the back, ball spilt loose, it's a knock on. Another knock on and a good ball situation for Richmond, who just like last week are shooting themselves on the foot right now. Time off, we've got a man down. Not too sure exactly the number there. I'll try and catch that one for you. They look frustrated, do Richmond Troy. Able to roll through the middle of the park fairly easily, and they did that as well against Point Chevalier, but their execution down this end of the field just not up to scratch.
Yeah, the last passage of play, they've had a couple of handling errors. You know, they got the ball back at one point, and I think they were only probably about 2 plays into it and then had a handling error, handed it back. And as we said earlier, you know, Otahuhu, when they've had completed a few of their sets, especially in the last 5 to 10, they've been going the length of the field and putting points on the board. So it's becoming a tough day in the office if you're a Bulldog. And time's back on as we get ready to set the scrum.
All right, let's go, fellas. One in, down with out. Move now, stand up.
Good D there from the Bulldogs. Bulldog sandwich.
Tora Whenua, good carry forward again. Gets onto that front. As a result, gets to a nice crisp play of the ball. Koya. Malutoa jumps out of dummy half, chews off another 10. Good yardage here for the Leopards. Doyle gets to the kick. Doyle, it's out on the full. So errors from both sides now. Really turning this one into a bit of a stalemate at this stage. As the players bogged down in the middle of the park. Kamanapo. Akoi Atmore looking for a quick play of the ball. Spins it out the back to his chief playmaker Neil, who brings Kauhiva in. Kauhiva plays short at the line. With Peel takes it forward. Hasn't seen a lot of balls so far. Akoi Atmore again. They're going to go down the short side. Machu Stone Dunn brings Carlos Henry into it. Penalty as well. Too long in the tackle that time from the Leopards. So Richmond with a good chance to register some points before the break. Wouldn't that be huge if they were able to go in at 24-12? Makes a huge difference psychologically for this team. Akoi Atmore is the dummy half. Shuffles play on now to Tongiu.
Reach down, stay clear. Good one. Two.
Neil looking to beat the first one, hanging on for dear life is Koya.
Great D from the Oats boys.
Machu Stone done, dribbles a little kick in behind, ball is loose, Doyle bats it dead. Drop out the call. And Otahuhu now look like they're just trying to chew off as much of the clock as they can. Get into the sheds with a 24-6 lead.
I dare say Otahuhu will try and make this as deep as they can. It's gone high.
40 on the fly, Machu Stone done. Oh, that is unfortunate. Stone done goes up for it. It's an uncharacteristic one. He is typically safe as houses under that high ball. But a knock on there. We're into about the final minute of the first half here. Do stay with us at half time. Got some catch up with Freddie Totowhenua ahead of his 200th game. We caught up with him just a couple of hours ago here at the ground for a chat. Nuka now, shuffles play on Setutu. Setutu looking to beat that first line, gets the offload away. It's nice to watch. Nuka tackled just short of halfway. Motumoave is the dummy half. Knock-on's going to be the call. Probably...
That was a tough one.
Yeah, probably have a bit of a case there to be upset. It's not going to matter because the siren goes in the background. And that will get us to half-time. It is the Roof Care Otahuhu Leopards 24, Richmond Bulldogs 6.
Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. At half-time, we've got the Corey interview with Big Freddie. And that'll be coming up very, very shortly as we have a break now at the half. Been a fantastic day down here today. Sun is shining as we celebrate 200 games for Big Freddie. And the ball boys looking for a ball under the unit. And here we go.
Freddie Totowhenua ahead of game number 200. Well, Freddie, does the body feel like it's been 200 games?
Definitely feels like it's been more, but you know, I guess the mind's strong, so just block all that, all those 200 plus games out, and now we'll just get on with it today. So, yeah.
Talk us through how many years it's taken to get here.
Probably been about 16, 17, 18 years maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't really been counting, but yeah, it's been a while now. Yeah, everyone's sort of reminding me, and more goes on, it just seems longer and longer. So now, but it's all good. Happy to be here, and happy to get out there today and have a crack. So it's good.
I don't know if you can remember back to your Fox debut all those years ago, but how much has the game changed?
Yeah, no, I can't really remember who it was against or what happened, but I just really remember just being a young fella coming out, playing the older guys, but different now. Back in the days, I think a bit more sledging and a bit more physical, a lot big hits. But I guess now today it's a lot faster, and you know, you got a lot more sort of athletes playing today. You know, everyone's physically better than they were. But I guess back in the days, I guess it was real social. You know, you had a real good guys that like to have fun on the field and off the field, so that's sort of something I remember when I first come up. But now it's loving it at the moment, and just probably try to keep going as long as you can, because when it's over, it's over. There's no unhanging the boots, I guess. So yeah, nah.
You were here on the day that the club got relegated a couple of seasons ago. How grateful are you that you're celebrating number 200 in the first division, not the second division?
Definitely blessed. We when we got demoted, it was but a hard time for a club and hard time for probably the players personally. Being involved, and for the club to come around 2 years later and turn it around, I guess it's only smiles on faces, and I guess for a few of us, it's sort of like a mission that we put out to bring our club back up, and it's completed. And now we're playing, instead of playing to survive, we're playing to actually try and have a crack at that top four and sort of try and be in the right position come semi-final time and footies final. So that's what we're sort of worried about now. And I guess whatever happened before, it's in the past. But hey, sort of when we had those tough times, you sort of know who's the realist and who's your real supporters and who's real club people. So now it's good. We're here now, and how can I say, just happy to be here and happy to keep playing. So it's good.
What's the favourite memory in those 200 games? What's the standout?
I think definitely winning the Fox in 2010. We had a really good team and really good bunch of guys there, and just had a lot of fun on and off the field. And I guess it's just something that built up over a few years, and we won the Fox. And not many people in Auckland could say they've actually been in a final or won a Fox, and that's probably my best memory as a Leopard. So yeah.
And you celebrate it today with your nephew on field, I think, against Richmond. You take the field with Richie Halani. How special is that?
Yeah, on a family point of view, I guess real special to be playing with a nephew. So it's good for my family. My sisters and that can get out, watch their son, and also watch their little brother. So yeah, it's all good. I love the family being here, and it's always thankful when they come out. So.
You mentioned you'll keep playing for as long as you can, so there's plans for next season?
Yeah, it just depends how the body holds up, and hey, if I can get out there and keep going, I'll keep going, but at what level you just don't know until you're there. And I guess you're just as good as your last game, so just got to perform today, and hopefully I'm in there next week and just play each game as it comes and as if it's your last. So yeah.
Freddie, congratulations on 200 games. It's a magnificent achievement, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Awesome, and if I can just say a little thank you to all our club people out there, and all our families and all our supporters that come and watched us over the years. And even though we might have had some low times, now it's high times, and we can watch some of our young boys have a crack at the big guns. So really looking forward to it, and I'd just like to thank everyone out there. Cheers.
Freddie, one last thing before we go. In celebration of game number 200 on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, your Stephen match ball.
Cheers, thank you. Do I get to keep this?
Yeah, you can take that one home, I think. Thanks for joining us, Freddie.
Awesome, thank you.